Son, any leads?
I found a few more magazines she's in, and the billboard downtown is her.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know. The website from the billboard leads to this. I took out my phone and showed Ian. Just one shade lighter than the black background was an Asian symbol.
That's not a logo. It's the symbol for gate.
So they know who she is?
They certainly suspect it's clever. Only those in the know will see the potential value of this information.
Ian tapped on the symbol. The screen opened an incognito page. Pictures of Ari showed up. Fall Gala auction. Tickets, $20,000. There's a menu, I scrolled. Hair, clothes, clippings.
Blood, hands, eyes.
Ian disgustedly flicked the page back.
They intend to sell the pieces.
But why would they kill her if she's this powerful creature from beyond the gate?
It's clever, really. Sell her in pieces. And they never have to prove that she is or is not a great power. All the while anyone who buys can brag they have a piece of the moon child.
I doubt that any piece of Ari would do any better than any other human.
If you paid $1 million for some nail clippings, I'm sure you'll believe the results are better than usual.
Pride would keep them from complaining. It really was a clever scheme. But if she were to actually be the moon child, that kind of power would benefit any pack that allianced with her.
Now you see why I wanted her to be my servant.
I still didn't agree with that plan.
Well, I agree we'll have to change our approach. Welcome her back and make her feel like one of us.
He shivered just thinking about having to interact with her eye to eye.
She still gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I ignored that comment. The site doesn't state their business address, and the auction location is given after ticket purchase. I've tried 4 modeling agencies, but none of them has booked Ari. In fact, they wanted me to let them know if she was available for additional work.
We only have 2 days left to find her. Drop everything and make it happen.
Ari was such an annoying issue, and it frustrated me. Having extra power would be nice, but if I couldn't find her in time, she would simply die. Not the nicest thing. Logically, I knew it would be wrong of me not to try and save her, but at least the power wouldn't fall into anyone else's hands. I hurried only because I was asked to fix the situation, and it was my fault to begin with. I shouldn't have let my pity for her push me into a hurried decision. I should have discussed it with the Alpha. For the life of me, I couldn't remember why I felt so strongly about it in the first place. The pack was buzzing with energy. People were bustling around, busily preparing for the succession ceremony, which was in less than a week. With so much going on, how was I supposed to go on this stupid search? I needed to delegate. Where was Sarah?
Boss?
I jumped. How did you do that?
I was coming around the corner just as your thought came through.
Well, good then, I guess.
What do you need?
Can you handle the last-minute questions and decisions? I need to go out of territory for a few days.
Last-minute solo trip?
I wish it was for fun. It's more of a last-minute task from the Alpha.
Wow, sounds serious.
Sarah said, but she was thinking something else. Stop that grin, Sarah. You will not put me in any frills.
It's a formal ceremony, a ball.
I told her calmly. No frills. I need to look like a leader, not a clown.
I'll surprise you. Have fun, Reed.
Her giggling as she walked past me down the hall sounded obnoxiously loud. I was getting a headache. Why was everything so loud right now? I took a deep breath. Focus. Focus.
Isn't that Reed's?
My name caught my attention. Sarah was talking to someone.
He took my magazine. It's justice. He takes mine, I take his.
This was Layla.
What if it's important?
This? How could it be important? It's probably another card to congratulate him on his succession to the throne.
God, Layla sounded so bitter.
His Royal Highness can live without it just fine.
I followed the voice through the hall, across the ballroom, down the stairs and into the noisy dining hall. Sarah had grabbed the envelope from Layla, and Layla put herself in a fighting stance, baring her teeth. Ignoring the display of ensuing violence, I walked right up to them and took the envelope from Sarah's hand.
Reed, I was only teasing. You have so little time for me. Us, your friends?
I had no idea why she was talking that way. Either way, I had no time. Sorry about that. I have things to do.
Of course, you're the next alpha. You must be very
Layla walked her fingers up my arm.
busy.
I turned to leave without saying anything. Sarah followed. Layla wasn't pleased.
Ugh, you seriously gonna ignore me?
As we left the room, I heard her mumble to Elliot.
He'll regret this when I become his wife.
My what? No thanks. I didn't need a wife. I had to focus on being a good alpha.
I thought I was your...
Oh, Elliot, we can still have our fun. But if I can't be his beta, then I'll have to settle for Luna.
It was true that Layla was pretty, but she had such a demanding personality. Time with her would only take away from my responsibilities. Still, how had I missed that? Since when did Layla want to be my Luna? Did you know Layla wants to be my wife? I asked Sarah.
Seriously? Where'd you hear that?
Just now. Couldn't you hear her?
Nope. How did you know to come to the hall anyway? I never called for you.
Realizing with the distance I crossed I couldn't have overheard them. Not even with werewolf hearing, I lied. I was just passing by.
Hey, does this last-minute task have anything to do with A-Moon?
Sarah pointed at the envelope. I have no idea who this is. It's probably a congrats card. Anyway, I'm off.
Boy, are you ever!
Sarah winked and dashed away before I could call her on her snark. I could tell she didn't like being left out, but she was doing her best to have my back. I was grateful to her. I'd have to find a way to show her my appreciation sometime. I had my go-bag in the car already. As I drove past the main gate, a familiar scent started to fill the truck. Jasmine and pear blossoms, but sweeter and more enticing. Where did I know this scent from? It was a combination I clearly liked, as I had both blossoms growing in my room. My eyes glanced at the seat next to me where I'd tossed the envelope. A.Moon. Who was this? I pulled over to the shoulder before heading into the sharper turns of the forest road. Was this letter perfumed? As I opened it, the scent got stronger. I quickly read the letter and looked at the check. Ari. I'll be damned. How long had Layla kept this from me? It was postmarked nearly a week ago. I growled. I could have had this fixed by now. There was an undercurrent to the scent, too. Smelled like flowers? It was powdery. Fairies. Damn it, she really was with the Fae. The office address on the envelope was in Halifax. At least I was searching in the right general area. I punched in the address and sped down the road. It still took me an hour to get there. I parked the truck and looked across the street into the glass building. The golden leaf logo was prominent on the front desk. The girl standing behind it was smiling prettily, her expression never changing whether someone was talking to her or she was staring at an empty lobby. She clearly was a human under enchantment. A lady, dressed in a hot pink suit, walked into the building. Perfectly prim and proper, as if she were going door to door selling makeup. Probably a witch. Why would a witch be talking to the fairies? Probably because of the auction. I took a quick walk around the corner, just outside of their opaque glass wall.
I just had a question about the gala.
Oh, well, of course. Here are some brochures. I know the website is a little complicated.
We just want to make sure that we can make our transactions without issue.
Oh, yes, that information is right here.
And, dear, how genuine is this article?
Between you and me, my bosses are 90% sure she is the Moon Child. But you know, we can't be sure because she hasn't come into her powers yet.
Pity.
But that's also the beauty of it, isn't it?
How so?
It's like veal. Young meat is so much juicier and delicious.
Oh, my.
The lady gave a quick laugh.
You've got a point there. Oh, the spells we could do with a fresh young thing like that.
Will that be all?
You have been significantly helpful. Thank you.
As the witch left the building, a man in a suit came in.
My master has some questions.
Ah, a vampire's servant. Same basic conversation. So Ari's auction was for any and all interested parties. An amicable soiree. Rare, but for the right item, creatures could set aside their differences for a night. I found that the next door cafe was quiet enough for me to still listen through the walls. After nearly an hour of the receptionist's incessant off-key humming, new voices caught my attention.
Anyone come in for info?
Yes, many interested parties. This is just so exciting. I can't believe how lucky we were to find the Moonchild at the last minute.
Luck had nothing to do with it. Alvin is a visionary. He sensed her strange power out in the open, and he laid out a plan.
But she will make us rich because she could be the Moonchild.
Yes, she could. And as long as people believe that she is, we can up the price.
Well, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Certainly once in Ari's lifetime.
They both laughed in a sickening way. I left the cafe and waited in the truck. I watched as the owner of the other voice left the building. She was tiny, but people got out of her way as she cannonballed her way through the crowded sidewalk. She was already a full street ahead by the time I started my truck to follow. She took the crosswalk right in front of me as I waited for the red light to turn. I glanced over and saw a photo shoot set up in front of the marble steps of a bank. I thought I caught a glimpse of Ari. I rushed to bring the truck back around, but got caught in one-way traffic zones, and it took me 10 more minutes to get back.
And that's a wrap.
Alvin announced after one last flurry of clicks.
Now rest up. The gala is in 2 days.
People whooped and cheered. He walked briskly towards the editors, looking over the last set of photos and making decisions on cropping. Trixie came over and unzipped the tight white dress for me. Gosh, I hope my gala dress isn't as tight. I could barely breathe.
I've got a beautiful dress for you. Like an upside-down calla lily, but a bright blood red. Very chic, very sophisticated. People won't be able to take their eyes off of you.
She handed me my loose sweater dress and leggings.
I'll leave you some juice here. Drink it after you've changed.
Sure thing. It was part of the beauty regiment, vitamins and all that were necessary for a healthy glow. I never questioned it. I changed in the dressing room, and when I came out, there was hardly anyone left. Trixie was on the other side of the set talking to Alvin. I was quite alone in my corner here. I liked the silence. I sat at the table and took the cup of juice.
Don't.
I felt a nudge on my knee. It was Reed's wolf again. Why?
Bad.
Unclear what was bad about it, I made to drink it anyway, and he growled. Okay, if you insist. I hushed him. I tossed the juice in the trash. He faded away again. What was that about? Trixie came over, looking a bit hyped up. She must be really looking forward to the party.
Well, princess, let's get you home. Tomorrow I have you scheduled for a day at the spa.